Ask the Messengers TV show is a TV show that educates, informs, and entertains our viewers on public health issues. And now, Ask the Messengers.
Today on Ask the Messengers, we bring you this month's DWIHN Partnership series. In this episode, we share our coverage from this year's Celebrate Recovery Walk that was held on Belle Isle, with testimonies from former NFL lineman Sharpe, professional boxer Taylor Duerr, and Mike Ramsdell talks about his film about the life of Taylor Duerr. Plus, NCADD program coordinator DeShante Riley, a professional basketball player, talks about his youth program. Ask the Messengers begins now. The DWIHN Integrated Health Network provides services and support to 123,000 people in Wayne County. DWIHN serves people with mental illness, intellectual and developmental disabilities, individuals with substance use disorders, and children with serious emotional disturbance. DWIHN is the largest and most diverse community mental health agency in the state of Michigan, and it is committed to providing the highest quality of integrated health care to those it serves while working alongside its dedicated and compassionate provider network. This is Tina Nelson for Ask the Messengers, and we are back. We are continuing to celebrate recovery in this DWIHN Partnership series. I am so excited. When we got invited to come back to Belle Isle and I saw Mr. Sharpe's name, I looked him up. He is an icon, but he has a serious story, and we're just going to let him speak and tell you a little bit about his struggles with addiction. Thank you for being on Ask the Messengers.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to serve and share this message of hope and promise of freedom that any addict can stop using dope, lose the desire to use, and find a new way to live.
Awesome. Now, being a professional athlete, how did you manage or thought you managed your addiction were you using while you were playing? Tell us a little bit about that.
There were constraints because the NFL did random drug tests, and I was concerned about being shamed in the community, being suspended by the NFL, and my addiction problems being made public. So, I kept control of my addiction because of the possible consequences with the random drug testing.
You. So at what point did you say enough is enough? I'm done. I need to get my stuff together. How did that happen for you?
This was in 2017. As I shared up there, I went to Sacred Heart. I was homeless. I was penniless. I was hopeless, living in my car. Had nowhere to go. Had no money, and that was the end of my rope. And like you said earlier, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
So now you and your daughter, let's bring up your baby. We are proud of her because she stood by daddy. She totally daddy's girl. And you and her are doing something today. Share information about what you guys are doing and how people can reach out to you for help as well.
Yeah, we've reconciled our relationship. It hasn't been an easy road. It takes time. But God is using us with the NFL Hall of Fame Health. It is an initiative to raise awareness, reduce stigma, normalize conversations, and transform culture surrounding mental illness and substance misuse. And we go to different NFL cities, and we partner with Hall of Fame players and local activists concerning these problems. And Rebecca MCs those events. We've had a chance to share our story at some of the events. And the funds that we raise are used to support or to pay for services that people that need them and can't afford them.
Wow, that is awesome. I want you to look into that camera, and I want you to talk to someone out there, maybe to some of your athletes that are out there. Let's speak to them, because sometimes it's harder for them to get the message because they got to be on all the time. Give a talk to them.
Pastor Mike, there's no shame in being an addict. We all have, I think, over 200 million people in the nation. I read a study recently are addicted to something, and less than 10% of those people are in recovery. But recovery is possible. I'm an example of it. I was addicted for many years, from the time I was 19, first entered the NFL, 19, 20 years old, until I was 57 years old. I've got 7 years in recovery. I'm 64 years old, and it is a process. It's not easy, but it's well worth it. Today, my mind, I've completely changed my way of thinking. My personality is different. I'm concerned less about self. I think more for others, and I'm finding that in thinking less about self and more about others, God best takes care of me. And the message is that we are our worst enemies. Our ego, our self-centeredness, our pride, that's the problem. And we have to surrender that, and that's part of the first step, admitting that we're powerless over our addiction.
Again, thank you for all that you do, and I'm so glad that you were able to, God blessed you to be able to take your mess and share a powerful message to the whole world. And it's wonderful because people on your platform, they will listen.
Yeah, they will. They need to. They need to, because they're suffering too, silently suffering. And let me just say this. God specializes in taking nobodies, turning them into a somebody without asking anybody and showing them off in front of everybody. So he alone gets the glory.
I'm Taylor Duerr. I'm a former professional boxer out of Detroit, and I'm also a recovering heroin addict.
You were boxing. Now, how did you find yourself in addiction even through boxing?
It was a struggle because I've struggled with this disease since I was a teenager. I've been in and out of recovery since I was 17, half my life now. But as a boxer, it was hard to maintain the training, the financial issues that I would have because of training making me so exhausted, not having to work and go to meetings and be a dad and yada, yada, yada. So it was difficult. So I needed to maintain discipline during my training camp and apply the same rules that I learned in recovery to my training as well. So there were a few slips throughout the past 5 years, but they were brief, not frequent. So yeah, other than that, like when I'm living a life of recovery and I'm focusing on spiritual nourishment, my life becomes amazing. You know?
Awesome. So at what point did you say, enough is enough, I'm done, I'm not going in and out, we're going to stop that revolving door? When was that moment for you?
Most recently, it was spring of 2021, and I just became completely enslaved to cocaine addiction and opiate addiction. And I had lost my family. I wasn't allowed to go around my house. I wasn't allowed to be around my daughter. And, I'd say God intervened. There was some sort of spiritual intervention. And, by the grace of God, I was arrested and then henceforth went to treatment and stayed in transitional housing for a year and got acquainted with many, many strong men in recovery who weren't afraid to call me out because I'm big and scary to some people. So I maintained some sort of accountability and discipline in that regard. And, I always tell people, recovery is like working out. I'm not going to stay strong on the push-ups I did last week, nor am I going to stay sober or spiritually fit on the prayer, meditation, or meetings of people I talked to last week as well. It needs to be a continuous daily thing.
Now, I want you to do us a favor. This show is about celebrating recovery, letting the world know that recovery is possible. I want you to look in that camera, and I want you to speak to someone out there who might be thinking about using for the first time or continuing. What would you say from one addict to another?
I would say that we have a solution. The solution is all around you. It's just a matter of stepping forward and getting honest with somebody, going to a meeting and asking somebody for help. They'll teach you and show you everything that you need to do to stay sober and live a happy, successful, drug-free life. This will always be a fight. You will always fight this, but it doesn't have to be a struggle.
We are so excited to be sharing some experiences, some strength, and everyone giving hope today. Recovery is possible, one day at a time. All you got to do is surrender your will and take that first step. Right now, I am standing by a filmmaker, a documentarian. Tell us your name.
My name is Mike Ramsdell.
And tell us about your film.
Film's called We Can Be Heroes. There's a website, wecanbeheroesdoc.com, made about Taylor Machine Gun Duerr, also known as the Motor City Body Snatcher. He is Detroit's own championship boxer. We met before, but about 2018-19, we decided to start making a documentary together. And to your point, and the will and the miracles of God, he said, well, it'll be about 2 years before I get a title shot. So I thought, okay, well, it'll be kind of a part-time filming thing. We'll film once in a while, kind of get the story till we're there. Moment we shook hands and started filming, unfortunately, his opponent for the state title tore his Achilles, and the next thing you know, he was offered a national title. So we immediately went all in on making the film, and it follows Taylor from his journey from that moment into his title fight. While he, along the way, is struggling with the mindset and the pulls of addiction. The reason I wanted to focus on him, he stands in the face of every stigma of an addict. He is he's definitely not weak. He is definitely not adverse to pain. He is definitely, his daughter is featured in the film, his family's featured in the film, shows the big, beautiful heart that he has. So he's not a selfish individual. And one of the things that helps us do is to show it to communities, people who don't understand addiction, people who don't struggle with addiction. It helps break through those stereotypes, because when they see an athlete, a professional athlete built like somebody like him, going through everything that they want to admire, but then also struggling with addiction, it makes them say, wait a second, maybe there's more to this disease than I thought. And if we can just get that one little question in people's mind, then we've opened the door for a little bit more understanding. And through that understanding, we can begin to really approach this at a human level as opposed to a addict, not addict level.
Well, we appreciate you creating the film and focusing on that area, because those stories need to be told on a large scale as well as all scales. So I appreciate you for that. Now, this show is about giving hope, giving what my street reporter calls a hope shot. I want you to look into that camera, and I want you to speak life into someone from a filmmaker's perspective. I'll pass you the mic too.
All right, cool. We're going to do this together.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, title of the film is We Can Be Heroes. And the reason for the title, well, what I've come to understand the reason for the title, it actually was the title because it's one of Taylor's favorite songs. Okay. But the reason for the title is because there is no journey that a human being can go on that is more heroic than one from the throes of addiction to sobriety. Mm-hmm. And now I can say that as somebody who has not had to go on that journey. So I'm not trying to blow my own horn. I've been all around this world. I've seen every struggle. I've seen all kinds of struggles. But the physical and the mental and the emotional toll that addiction takes on people, to stand in that position and say, I'm going to get sober, and then make the step to do it, is absolute. Can I swear? No. Oh, is absolutely gosh darn heroic. And so anybody looking at this, wherever you are in this journey, do not think of yourself as an addict. Do not think of yourself as a loser. Do not think of yourself as a junkie or any other negative stereotype that society wants to put on you. Think of yourself as a hero, and every step you take towards sobriety is proof of that. So God bless you. I'm proud of you. We can all be heroes.
So I was a previous former basketball player before I played overseas, NBA G League for the most part. Actually, right now I facilitate a youth basketball program that's rooted in providing youth with drug and alcohol prevention education. So that's been a very fulfilling job for me right now, definitely.
It's so funny doing this.
I know, right?
But I love it. It's like you're looking up for hope.
Yeah,
you got to look up. Oh, look at this. And this is my coworker just sitting tight. Listen.
So I have a
Yeah,
question for you.
absolutely.
What has been your favorite part of today so far?
Oh man, I would say just really having conversations with people that are in treatment and recovery, just finding out their journey, finding out the different programs that are offered to them, learning how some programs didn't work for them in the past and they've transitioned to other ones that would kind of help them in their recovery process more so, I would say, than the previous programs they've been a part of. So that's been the main part as well. I've never really had that issue before, but that's always a humbling experience, kind of learning from others and what they've gone through for sure. Be specific to your life. Don't really compare it to others. Comparison is the thief of joy, so really just take your mission on, whether that's sobriety, whether that's, we all got different challenges in life. So just kind of look at your own plan that's most important for you and where you're trying to guide your own life, and be as honest and as direct as you can with doing the things that help facilitate that dream.
All right, this is Tina Nelson. Now, you all have seen this young lady on our show before. We actually met the first time virtually. We met at conferences and conventions, and she is definitely a woman on the mission, and she's with DWIHN as well. Cara, thank you for being here again.
Thanks for having me. I truly appreciate it. I still am representing DWIHN Integrated Health Network. The prevention first, then we got our treatment and recovery. We out here today celebrating recovery all month of September, and I'm glad to be here with you today, as well as my county, I got to give love to all 43 cities all the time because that's what we do here at Detroit Wayne.
Yes. And we are just so appreciative that you all trust us to carry your message, and we love our partnership with you guys, and I mean everything that you all do. We are so grateful to be right in the fiber of that.
And I'm glad you all are at the table. Ask the Messengers has been in the trenches for many years working with us and collaborating with these great partnerships of spreading that message of prevention, treatment, and recovery. And I know that, and like you said, at every conference, at every event, as it relates to the work that we're doing out here of saving lives, because that's what we do. And we have to always remind you, and it should be somewhere across our message here, to if you're in need of services, whether mental health or substance use disorder, call 1-800-241-4949, and we will be there to help you, young and old. No matter from birth to death, we are here to help you with every service that you need.
My name is Davon Jones, and I'm the Complex Case Manager here with Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network, and I'm also our Narcan Coordinator, and we're here today at the Recovery Walk, just spreading the word and awareness about what's going on here with the event we're having, celebrating recovery, and also we had a free Narcan training here as well to promote opioid overdose reversal. Narcan is an opioid overdose reversal drug, and we've been promoting that as well here today too.
We could not do this episode without talking to our girl Lauren. You know what? I just love you. That's all I got to tell you. But listen, here we are. We are back on Belle Isle. Tell me how that feels to you.
It feels amazing. It's almost like we're coming back home. But I get we have to spread the love. Last year we were at Freedom Hill. We are back in the heart of Detroit, which is at Belle Isle. It's just beautiful. I think the turnout seems to have exceeded. You know what I'm noticing? I feel like every year it just gets greater and greater. And it really feels like not just was the recovery community here, which this is what it's for. It's to celebrate recovery and celebrate that recovery is possible and celebrate those who have went into that great feat of recovery. But what it also looks like is that just the community came out and wrapped their arms around the recovery community. And so it just feels good.
Thank you. Well, Lauren, I know that you are always a woman on a mission. I appreciate you. You know how to catch you when you're walking through, but I know you have things to do, but I really always appreciate, no matter where we are, you take time and you share and you hang out with us for a minute.
Likewise, right? I mean, you all always come out and support whatever we have going on. And so that's what collaboration, that's what partnership, that's what coalitions, right? We work together. And so I thank you for the work that you all do.
Celebrating the fact that people stand and do recover from alcohol and other drug addictions. All right, here we go.
We also want to take this time to thank WDIV Local 4 for interviewing our own street reporter, LaShawn Battle, during this year's Celebrate Recovery Walk on Belle Isle.
When I was out there, we didn't have the things that they have now, like Narcan and stuff like that, to save people.
Approaching 30 years clean, LaShawn Battle could only dream of the lives Narcan would have saved back in the 90s.
I've seen a lot of people overdose. Unfortunately, they didn't make it. Maybe if we'd had Narcan then, a lot sooner, we could have did something.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
This is the 8th year we've been doing this opioid summit through Detroit Wayne Integrated Health in collaboration with now MPHI, formerly GDEC was in collaboration with us over the years. And I'm grateful to be here to promote our prevention messages as what we're trying to continue to convey. Even if it's relapse prevention, we want to talk about how important it is for us to know about the ways to prevent, to treat, and recover from this opioid addiction, this epidemic we're having in our community.
We've been partnering with DWIHN for 8 years. We started out with a single track of learning experience for really our healthcare providers and have split it off into 2 now, where we have one that's focused on employers too. So we're really trying to bridge the gap between healthcare and those who are providing services for people who are in recovery, seeking recovery, that sort of thing, and employers who are employing those individuals who probably need those resources as well, providing a great opportunity for additional education.
Well, that concludes this week's episode of Ask the Messengers. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you would like to help support our show, please feel free to make a donation of any kind by visiting our show website, www.askthemessengers.org. If you prefer to mail donations, please make check or money order payable to Ask the Messengers TV show and send it to 18400 Schaefer Highway, Detroit, Michigan 48235. Ask the Messengers is the program that deals with things that help you. Thank you for watching.